The gospel reminds me of a bumper sticker. You ever see that bumper sticker? It says, Jesus is coming. Look busy. And the reality is, when he's talking in the gospel today, when he comes, will he find us busy about doing his will, or will we be busy about doing our will? The opening line in my Be a Man book, if you ever read it, it says, you are going to die. It's a nice way to start a book, huh? But it's the purpose that I want everybody to come to begin with the end in mind. Today, each of us will take our last breath on earth, and then we open our eyes again and we see Jesus Christ, who will come to judge us. What do we want that day for him to say about us and say to us? You know, years ago when I was an ecumenical minister in the Grand Canyon, I was still in college, and there was a program in that. And I remember going out in the desert, and I was walking. I was just talking to the Lord about, going to be a priest eventually, God willing, and doing all this stuff. And I remember thinking, Jesus, the only thing I want is the moment I die and I stand before you to hear, well done, good and faithful servant. That at that point, the only thing I ever wanted from Jesus was for him to look at me and say, well done. You were good and you were faithful to me. And each of us have to come in our own reality and find out, what do we want the world to say about us when we drop? What do we want our parishioners to say about us, our confreres in the priesthood? What do we want them to say about us, our bishops say about us? But more than anything, what do we want God to say about us the day we take our last breath? And hopefully, the response to the responsorial psalm is what we want. Here I am, Lord. I come to do your will. And again, we say it every day. Think about how many times priests say the Lord's Prayer. At least 4 or 5 times a day. If you say a rosary 10 times a day, we say the Lord's Prayer constantly. And yet, I think it becomes such a routine. It's kind of like, when we give the penances of 10 Our Fathers and 10 Hail Marys for someone after they've went to confession. And what do they do with the 10 Our Fathers and 10 Hail Marys? They start, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth. Okay? Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Did I say 10? I better do another one just in case. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. And I think God in heaven sometimes looking down and saying, oh, shut up. Say one and mean it, huh? Because again, when Jesus, before he taught us the Lord's Prayer, he says, when you pray, do not rattle on like the pagans do. And yet, half the time, we rattle on like the pagans do. We just say a bunch of words, da-da-da-da-da. Well, and again, I think if we were to say what we mean, it'd really be, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, my will be done. Please bless it on earth as it is in heaven. Lord, these are what I want you to do for me today. Lord, bless my people. Lord, give me strength to go another day. Lord, help me to do your will. Da, 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 da. And we're always asking. Give me. I want. I need. And yet when we come to pray, it has to be, Father, I'm here as your servant. Your will be done in my life today. What do you want of me? I will do it. Everything I have planned today, and we priests can have a lot of things planned for us. I'll put everything aside today if you want me to do something different. You want me to make peace with that person? What do you want me to do, Lord? And then we're still long enough in our daily prayer that he can speak to us, so he can tell us his will, so that the whole day I'm doing his will. And so what happens then, if I'm called home, it's no big deal, because I'm doing his will. I remember the story they attribute to St. Francis, of course, that he was out hoeing his garden one day. And as he's hoeing his garden, a guy come up to him and says, hey, Francis, what if you knew you were going to die in an hour? What would you do? You know what he responded? I'd keep hoeing my garden. Because he was living the will of the Father. How about us? If someone come to you this morning and says, hey, Father, you're going to die in an hour. What are you going to do? I think I'll go in front of the Blessed Sacrament. Well, could I go to confession, please, first? What would we do if we knew in an hour the Lord was going to come and call us home? Would it be same thing I'm doing? I am doing his will. In the end, that's all that matters. That we did his will as his priests and not our will. May each of you know his love today and forever. Amen.